Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 7. And it's going to go over the week 7 module with you. You can look at the checklist in the overview video, what you're watching now. The objectives are here. This is some information on the 3 types of argumentation that I'll go over in this course. The classical or the Aristotelian, Aristotle is the major one that we will focus on. However, you will be exposed to or learn about Tolman and Rogerian. Look this over. The quizzes, 3 content quizzes and 2 reading quizzes, and then the discussion board. The discussion board prompt is right here, but before I jump into that, I want to go over a couple other things that will help you. So these 2 quizzes, make sure you take these first before you attempt the discussion board prompt. They will help you. This one, if you click on it, obviously there's a video in here about persuasion and argumentation. And then here are some essay models and phrases, how to set up an argumentative essay. So let me click on here. So inside here, before you take the quiz, is a document that you should make a copy of and keep it. And then here is a video that will go over this document, but I'm going to go over it right now because it will help you with the discussion board. If you had me for English 110, you already know how to do opposing and refuting the way that I want you to do it. But if not, let's open this up. So this is the copy. You should have a copy of this document. You can use this in any course that you use. So if you're going to write an essay that's argumentation, which means you're bringing in the opposing, the opposite viewpoint of yours, your choice would be the pro, and then you have to choose the opposing view, which will be the con. So when you're writing an argumentative essay, you want to bring in the con or the opposing and then refute or spin it back to your side. So if you look here, there's model A, B, C, and D. Most of the time, you'll probably use model A. So this is an essay. So your thesis statement is in the introductory paragraph. Your pro. So if you were writing about pathos and the Nike ad and you chose pathos, your first paragraph would be pro pathos, why you think it's pathos, second, third. And then for this week's discussion board prompt, you're going to have to decide what you want your con to be. So it can be ethos or logos. You will choose one of those. So let's say you choose ethos. Then here you'll put ethos, and then you'll spin it back to pathos, and then your conclusion. So model A is what most students use, and then model C. Some students will choose to do, obviously, the intro with the thesis, the counter, refute, spin it back, counter, the second point, refute, spin it back, and then third point, refute, spin it back, and then the conclusion paragraph. And again, these are for 5-paragraph essays. However, it doesn't mean you're only going to do 5 paragraphs, especially the research paper. That'll probably be 8, 9, or 10. But this is a model that you can follow. So here's an essay. How are you going to start, or how are you going to write? What is included in an opposing and refuting paragraph? Well, let's take a look down here. So number 1, you're going to start with introducing the opposing argument. Number 2, you're going to give evidence to support the opposing or the con. Number 3, you're going to counter that or refute, which means you're going to spin it back to make your side look better, the best option. And then number 4, you're going to have a closing sentence. Remember, this is for a paragraph that's within a huge essay. And I have an example here where I used Maya Angelou and Harper Lee. Which author do I think is best? So you guys will do yours with pathos, logos, or ethos, whatever the 2 you've chosen. You've already chose your pro last week. So let's take a look here. So I'm only focusing, this is a big essay, and now I want to come in. I've been giving my proof why I think Angelou is the best author. Now I'm coming to the 4th paragraph, which is here. I'm going to counter and refute. So now I want to bring in Harper Lee because I don't want my audience to think I'm hiding anything. So let's take a look at what it would look like. Excuse me, guys, I went too far. So obviously I have my heading. So introduce the opposing argument. Opposing views may claim that Lee is a better author than Angelou. So by looking here, this is the topic sentence for that paragraph. Lee is the opposing, Angelou is my pro. So opposing views may claim, other people may think that Lee is a better author than Angelou. Again, Lee is the con or the opposing, Angelou is my pro, the one I think is the better author of these two. Then you want to give evidence, part 2. Admittedly, Lee has won more literary awards than Angelou. Okay, I'm making this up, but one reason that many may think that Lee is better than Angelou is because she's won more literary awards. Then down here, I'm going to counter or refute or spin it back to why I think Angelou is still better than Lee. Clearly, Lee has won more literary awards than Angelou. However, Angelou has won the most highly coveted literary award. So again, I'm making this up. Okay, and notice that this is part 1 is in bold. My keywords are all highlighted in yellow. Keywords, keywords, keywords. This is what you will do. And then on my closing, it is evident that Lee has won more literary awards than Angelou. Ultimately, the quality of Angelou's literary awards outweighs the quantity of Lee's literary awards, thus making Angelou as a better choice. And notice again, topic sentence, I'm giving the points for the opposing. I'm spinning back to my point, which is Angelou, and then I have a closing sentence tying this paragraph all up. And again, this is a body paragraph within an essay. Notice that all these are labeled, and then I highlighted the key words that you can be found in this document. So make a copy of this document and have it, and then your work's cited. So here I have Angelou and Lee. So both books that were used for this. Okay, now I'm going to close this and I'm going to go to the prompt, and now the prompt will make a lot more sense to you. So let's go to the prompt. I'm clicking on it. Let's go, computer. So for this ad last week, the Nike ad, my computer's running slowly. I apologize. So here's the graphic. So last week you wrote about what was your primary feeling or appeal that jumped out at you. Did you choose ethos, pathos, or logos? Whatever you used last week, that's your pro. Now you have to decide on a con. You're going to either choose ethos or logos if you chose pathos. If you chose ethos, you'll choose pathos or logos as your con. So then you're going to follow the outline I just gave you. Now in that outline, make sure you include an in-text citation from course notes 1 from week 6, one from course notes number 2 from week 6, just like you did in week 6. And then the article that you found on Nike, include something in there as evidence. It doesn't need to be the same quote. If it works, if it fits well, use the same quote. Use a lot of the same information. However, let's say that my week 6 discussion board post, my pro was pathos. Maybe I'll want to define what pathos is from course notes number 1, and then maybe I choose ethos as my con or my opposing. Maybe I'll want to define it from course notes number 2, what ethos is. However, you should have 3 for your works cited page. You should have 3 from your work. You should have 3 sources for your works cited page. Okay, required formats, just what I showed you. This is what I have on the video up there. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, and then your works cited. Make sure you have an S because you have 3. You have Course 1, Course 2, and a Nike article from an outside source. All right, and now I'm going to go and show you the student sample. So underneath the prompt, you'll see argument, essay, models, and phrases. It's the same document that's embedded up here. I just wanted to make it a little more easier for you. A little more easier. Wow, a little easier for you to find here. Sorry about that, guys. More and easier. Okay, and then student example. Let's open this up. All right, and hers was Mrs. Flowers and the Junkyard. Notice this is what yours will look like. You can bold it if you want, or just put part 1, but it'll be in bold. So here she's saying, in the book, I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. Opposing views may claim that being in a junkyard helped Maya grow more than being with Mrs. Flowers. Opposing views. So some people think that Maya living in the junkyard for a while that would be the opposing. But what did this student actually, what was her pro? That having Mrs. Flowers as a mentor was better. Give evidence for the opposing. She highlighted the key word, part 3, highlighted the key word. Part 4, the conclusion, highlighted the key word, and then she had her work cited. Here they only used one book, so they don't have an S, it's only one entry. So this is what yours will look like. If it doesn't, I won't grade it. I'm going to subtract -5 until you do hand it or submit it properly. So go ahead, again, use your pro from last week, and then choose what you think the opposing would be, and go ahead and write this. Good luck, everybody. Thank you. Bye.